Most of all, it is expensive.
No, it's real expensive. No matter if you get in wrecks and stuff, it gets really expensive then.
More on that later. Rusty Olson, a local street stock champion, is preparing for the upcoming season at the Redwood Acres Raceway. And he's building a new car from scratch. And that means a lot of work.
Well, I got it back about a week ago with the cage already done. And it'll probably take me another month and a half, 2 months to do it. And I'll probably work on it 25, 30 hours a week, me and a couple other guys.
When you get set to build your mean machine, the first thing a driver will look for is a fast and dependable motor.
Well, I think ideally if you can get up, you know, maybe 13.5 to 1 compression, you would be in pretty good shape. And I really don't know the horsepower, but I would guess in the low 400s.
If you run all good crank and good rods and look for a good block, then it'll be real dependable. You won't blow up through the season.
To go along with a fast and dependable motor, drivers also look for the right chassis.
I like that all the bars are low in it, so it keeps all the weight low to the ground, and it's pretty light for street stock. And all the suspension on it is pretty straight and everything, so you don't have no trouble with it binding up.
Many think that all a driver needs is a lot of horses under the hood. But if a car cannot handle on the turns, a driver could be in for a long race. That's why a desirable rear end and suspension is always looked for.
In the rear end, they can't run suspension like the stock or the super stocks can. So they look for a good 4-point, or they run leaf springs in the rear end. And then it seems to be better if you have a full frame car instead of a unibody.
If the rear end is binding up in it and you can't get through the turns, and you have to be able to get through the turns, especially in these, well, in all classes. That was the biggest. You win the races going through the turns, not on the straightaway. So the better the car will handle, the faster you'll be able to go.
What's the bottom line, you ask? In a street stock class, you can expect to pay anywhere between $1,500 and $3,500 for a motor, up to $2,000 for a solid chassis. A rear end could run from $200 to $1,000, and add all your spare parts, including tires and such. And a driver's looking at a cost of anywhere between $3,700 to $8,000 to be competitive. All these figures hinge on how much work the driver can do to save money. And if you were to be involved in a super stock class, which are the featured cars at the raceway, it would run you anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, depending if it's a new or used car. On the other hand, a mini stock, which is a souped-up stock Pinto, will run from about $2,000 to $3,000. And in part 2 tomorrow, we'll discuss how these drivers cut their costs by obtaining sponsorships.